If I knew just how deep and dark those pits got and how long you're caged up in them, I would have not abused Miss Molly. I would have treated Miss Molly with the respect and dignity she deserves. I would have requested less time with her. The following list is in absolutely no particular order. I'm simply going to be listing things as they pop into my mind. So starting with the first one, I wish I knew how addictive it was. Everybody says that it's not physically addictive, which is true. Unlike drugs like cocaine, the brain does not grow a physical dependence to it. But yeah, none of that really matters because you feel so good on it, so insanely euphoric that your everyday life just pales in comparison. And this effect can make it feel extremely mentally addictive. You can get drawn to wanting to be in that uplifted state quite regularly, especially if you don't have a lot going for you in your life, and if you have some negative influences like your friends who are also dosing quite often, and also if you're uneducated and you don't realize the long-term damage that can cause to your serotonin system. The next thing I wish I knew is just how dangerous it is when it's taken frequently. Drugs like cocaine and, heroin you think are more dangerous, and they are for a variety of reasons, such as being cut with more things more regularly and, fentanyl and stuff. However, if you're going to consume something every day, it's much better to be snorting lines of Miss White daily than to be popping pills of Molly daily. You want to keep Mandy to a bare minimum. She's not a girl you want to see very often, because if you do, you're going to experience potentially long-term damage. Many people do believe that it potentially alters the amount of serotonin that your brain releases. It damages the dendritic spines, whatever the fuck that means. A lot of people talk about, oh my God, everyone's wrong. Don't believe the propaganda. It's safe. You can take it every once in a while and nothing's going to really happen to you. And that's just it. Every once in a while. You want to be dosing no more than once every month, like at the absolute max. Most people suggest once every 3 months or even like once every year or so. Because if you do fall down the path of taking it regularly, it is going to be one of the most dangerous drugs that you can take for your mental well-being. It causes a massive dump of serotonin, which we need to have regulated sleep, emotional status, even appetite. So when your brain is constantly deprived of serotonin, you experience a never-ending come down and you're just fucking miserable all the time. But not only that, what they call a roll is an MDMA high. Your rolls just become so much less fruitful, and you need so much more to reach even a fraction of the high you used to get. And this happens very fast. So I really wish that people pointed out just how emotionally addictive it can be. The next thing I wish I knew was how fast the magic gets lost. I can't take it anymore. Like anytime I take MDMA, don't get me wrong, I still feel good, but it's not that magical, everything is just fucking perfect feeling. It almost feels like you're just orgasming with each breath you take. It is phenomenal. That's the magic. And it even goes beyond that, because I'm just talking, that's just the good feeling, right? Like, yeah, you can get good feelings from other drugs too that feel super euphoric, but it's not just euphoria. This is why people call it magic, because it's this certain je ne sais quoi. It's this certain feeling that you get that is just unparalleled to anything that you've ever experienced prior to that point. And this magic can be very healing. That's why MDMA is one of the most potent rehabilitating compounds when in used conjunction with therapy for those who have severe PTSD, because when it's used with a therapist, you can reprogram feelings attached to bad memories in a way so that those same memories don't elicit the same negative response anymore. It has unparalleled potential for good when used responsibly and properly. The exact same unparalleled response can also be bad. It can have devastating consequences when it's used dangerously. And because of people in the club scene and, your friends, and, it's getting more commonplace. It's in movies, Papa Molly, I'm sweating, all this jizz jazz garbage. Because of all this stuff, people, they think that it's relatively safe. I mean, their favorite DJs are taking it. They're DJing on it. Like, yeah, if my idol, this DJ, can do it, then it's got to be fine, right? All my friends tell me how safe it is. But like in reality, if there's a drug where if you take it more than once every month, it can potentially cause permanent damage. Again, it's not proven. I think it can. A lot of people do. But even if it causes like damage for years and years where you don't feel happiness the same way, don't you think that drug should be attached with a lot of warning signs? The red, yellow warning lights should go off in your mind going, woo, woo, Proceed with caution. Don't take this all the time, or we are going to regret it because we are going to be fucked. Emotionally, spiritually, physically, we are going to be raped. Zest for life will be subtracted from us. I wish I knew how much fake Molly there is. No, the tables have turned. Now it is very easy to find real MDMA. Not to say people still don't sell fake MDMA, which is why you must always test your drugs. But in the beginning, I didn't know about test kits. I didn't know any of this stuff. And a lot of the stuff I got, if it, felt different one experience to the next, we would just say, oh, it was some bad stuff. It was bunk. Oh, it must have had some leftover precursors in the synth. When in reality, we were just taking totally different fucking drugs and we had no idea. I wish I knew how common it was to get fake MDMA. The truth is, there's hundreds, maybe even thousands of drugs that are in the same category and tactogenic and pathogens. There's a lot of dangerous drugs that mimic MDMA's effects that can be deadly. I wish I knew how disgustingly stupid I looked when I was on it. that gurning face. You can look disgusting on MDMA. The biggest meth head drug look you can imagine is how you can look, especially when you get into those 200 milligram doses. Back in the day when I would take this, I was living in a university house and we did it way too much, okay? And we would go for these walks just downtown in the city. And I wish people told me just how fast and crazy you look on it. And I remember you're doing these walks and you're looking like this, like you're on a mission, man. And you're on a mission to go nowhere. You're just walking and gurning and walking and gurning and people are passing you. And I remember hearing this one lady say to her friend, see, that's why you don't smoke crack. Crack? Ain't no fucking crack here. Nobody warned me about that one. Now you know. I wish I knew how much I was going to share absolutely every deep, dark, secret fantasy thought that popped in my head with absolutely everybody. Oh my goodness. You got to be careful who you spend your time with because you're like an open book. And even if they don't want to hear your entire life story, you are going to be spewing it like chunks after you just went on the merry-go-round for a day straight from fucking stuffing your face full of, Genos. It's going to be disgusting the amount of cheesy chunks that come out of your mouth. And you got to be careful because not everyone wants the cheese, man. Some people are lactose intolerant. You can actually mess up friendships by saying too much. Not everybody's going to be on your level, especially if they're not taking it. Even if they are taking it, not everyone gets that I want to share my entire universe with you feeling. It can make or break some relationships. And even if it doesn't do that, at the very least, you're going to wake up the next day and feel really stupid. I mean, of course, unless you're the type of person who just doesn't care about that stuff, then whatever. Spill your heart out, because it does act like a truth serum, and nobody told me that. I wish I knew how amazing sex was going to feel once you can successfully get it up for long enough to have some decent sex, because sober sex versus Molly sex is not really comparable. Very hard to reach climax, but when you do, woo! That's all I gotta say. I wish I knew how much it was going to royally mess me up for the next 5 to 7 years. It became sort of like an emotional crutch, where it's like I felt like I always had to have a little stash hoarded away, even if it was just one pill. It's like I needed that security of knowing that I could have that experience anytime I wanted, because my life went through some really dark periods, and I wish I knew just how much I was going to start depending on that MDMA experience. Fast-acting 4 to 5 hour experience. You don't want to be looking forward to that for months. You stop enjoying what's actually important in life, and you neglect your relationships, and you look at it as your source of ultimate pleasure and happiness. I wish I knew just how much it was going to poison my mentality for so long. In fact, I would go as far as to say that if the magic was never lost for me, I could even still be on the train going nowhere. Just like your walks on MDMA, you're just going nowhere. Walking for the sake of walking, which you could argue is a great reason to walk, and that's what I do now. But I no longer need to be on MDMA to walk for the sake of walking. I just like walking because it gets the thoughts flowing, and it feels good, and I lose calories. I wish I knew how disgusting my shits were going to be during the come-up. Oh my god, I would shit my guts out, like the most putrid, foul-smelling from the deep, dark pits of shit hell. Oh, no one told me that. I got a shit just thinking about it. There's more, but let's end off on a high note or a low note, depending on how you see it. I wish I knew just how deep and dark and low the come downs actually are. Like, you can't compare it to a hangover after drinking. You can't compare it to the day after taking acid when you realize that you're not God and you don't ultimately create your reality. Oh shit, maybe you do. Especially if you're coming off a bender where you did it for 2 weeks, like every 3 days, and then finally that last one you just push things too far because you need to take a little bit more to get the same feeling as last time, which was already a little bit more than last time, which was already a little bit more than last time, and you're at the point where you're taking 400 to 500 milligrams at least a night total just to get the same feeling that 80 milligrams used to give. That compounded come down is like game over. It's like, I don't know how to describe having absolutely nothing worth living for. Even the things that are worth living for, they don't elicit any type of emotional response. Static. You're like dead air. The emotions just aren't firing. I mean, sadness fires, if you want to call it sadness, but it doesn't even feel like real sadness, because sadness in normal everyday, I have enough serotonin and dopamine and norepinephrine to function mode, and in that mode, like just everyday life, well, that sadness is attached to even some positive emotions. Cathartic. You can feel really low and cry, and it can feel like an emotional release where it's like, wow, afterwards you're like, I needed that. I feel like shit, but the shit's moving. It's coming out. We're getting somewhere here. No neurotransmitters. No feelings, okay? These are our feelings. Our feelings are chemicals. You're going to deplete your brain of the chemicals responsible for having feelings. You're not going to have any fucking feelings. If I knew just how deep and dark those pits got and how long you're caged up in them, I would have not abused Miss Molly. I would have treated Miss Molly with the respect and dignity she deserves. I would have requested less time with her. Anyway, I hope you guys all enjoyed today's video. If you did enjoy it, make sure you leave it with a big thumbs up and leave a comment below, which definitely helps the algorithm, which helps us not get blocked by YouTube. You can join our Patreon, pledge as little as $2 a month, and you get access to early access content and all kinds of other awesome perks, like me, who is very slow at doing anything. Anyway, love all you guys. Stay safe, everybody. Always test your drugs. Till next time, take care, and I'm going to see you guys all in the next video. Let me know what other drug you would like me to cover in this new series of What I Wish I Knew. Peace out.